What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. Today is the big day. It is time for the X-Men Hellfire Vigil. 1 year ago at the final Hellfire Gala, the dream of a unified nation of mutants was forever shattered. A sneak attack by the anti-mutant forces. We all saw what happened on that devastating day. To mark the moment and to proclaim loudly and strongly to all that consider mutantkind still stands. The time has come for the X-Men of all stripes to come together in solidarity and celebration. This comic really encapsulates all the X titles that are currently ongoing. X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, Exceptional X-Men, Storm, Astonishing X-Men, and of course Phoenix. We get a little glimpse of everybody here. This may not be a Hellfire Gala, but it will definitely be a night to remember. With that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, as we dive into this issue, we pick up in Central Park. It starts with everybody lighting a candle. Everyone here in celebration and solidarity. Today, every mutant has come together, and they did this through the way of portals. Looking over to Prodigy and Kamala Khan. Prodigy is kind of telling Kamala that you do belong here, yada yada yada, you know. They made her a mutant. Marvel has decided to focus hugely on Kamala Khan, so of course the story is going to have a little bit of her in there and her trying to be accepted by mutantkind. Prodigy is essentially saying, we've already accepted you, you're one of us, stop feeling uncomfortable. But to get these portals up and running, a little bit of Forge expertise to build them, and then they were teleported to everybody with an X gene. Throw in Subinar's kind of ecosystem in his bloodstream thing, a little extra logistic support from locals, and boom, Krakoan gateways opened up, back for one night, unlocked with a power pin. This time they kept the guest list a little bit smaller. No Sinisters or anything like that coming to ruin the day. They even sent some of these gateways to Araco, but nobody responded. This is what picks us up in Alaska. We pick up with Psylocke and Cyclops having an argument. The argument, Cyclops isn't going. And of course, Psylocke is pissed. She's like, what are you talking about? You're not going to the vigil. You're the leader of the X-Men. You cannot sit out the biggest celebration since last year's Hellfire Gala. What kind of message does that send to everybody? But the way Cyclops sees it, they don't have anything to celebrate. Right now, they are fighting for their survival. It is a fight that they are losing, just like they lost Krakoa. 3K is out there. The startups are out there. The one organization is out there. And then on top of all of that, you have Ellis and the Grey Mulligan. Not only that, we barely just made this town safe. We barely saved this town. How the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants essentially recruited one right from under our noses. How our enemies have their own freaking X-Men team. Like, if you guys want to go to a party, cool, go to a party. As we pick up with the Phoenix, she's thinking about all of this. A way to remember and honor those that came before. The losses, the whole reason that she left Earth was because of those losses. A decision she still thinks was the right decision leaving Earth, at least for now. But this is when Jean starts to hear a voice. Her dead sister, presumed dead sister, recently came back with Cable interfering. We still have to find out what happens with that. We have to assume that this takes place before Cable's intervention, before she went to see her sister. But there was a voice calling out to her, a voice in the void. She went to go find this voice, and it told her that there's hope, that they can make a new home right here among the stars. A place where they won't be used, won't be punished for who they are, that the stars can provide comfort. And in the end, they knew that the Phoenix would find them. Today of all days, she called out to the universe. In a need for comfort, she called out. And these ghosts of the past, they answered. Hundreds of years ago, these ghosts, they left Earth. They went looking for a place that they could exist in peace, light years away from all the persecution of mutantkind. But their people didn't survive the journey. They knew that their legacy could. They preserved their memories in all these crystals floating out here in space. A living monument to all they believed, all they had hoped in, everything they wished to persevere. A beacon for any other mutant who might feel lost among the stars. with Jean Grey finding comfort in these echoes of the past. We pick up in Chicago, Dazzler up on stage doing what she does best. We see her singing her heart out. And while she sings, we see a little bit of a romance blooming between Beast and Jen. Now, Jen is the newest member of the X-Men team of the Alaskan team, Jen Starkey, having the ability to kind of adapt to certain situations, being able to transform her body. But this is still a relatively new ability for her. While we see love blooming, we pick up in Russia. We pick up with Colossus. Now, Colossus and Jon, they're currently making their way back to his old stomping grounds. He reminisces of the old days, of growing up here, of being with magic, until the day that Xavier came calling, and it was a call that he couldn't say no to. And Jon kinda tells him, like, it seems like you've been going against your nature for a very long time, fighting other people's fights for other people's reasons. This is something he knows a little something about. Whether it be a Utopia, Genosha, Krakoa, whatever it may be, we've been trying to fight. And Jon isn't really telling him how to live his life, so much as saying, if people are pushing against you, it's time maybe you push back. As Jon goes to take off, saying that he's not headed to the vigil, the whole Krakoan thing really wasn't for him to begin with. This is where we see Magic showing up, coming in and hugging her brother. She's asking if this is what he's going in. And he says, yeah, like, this helmet's gonna stop anybody from being able to mind control me. The glove's got some tools in them, like, it's pretty useful. Also, the fact that he was mind controlled for so long, he's kind of got a little bit of PTSD from it, so he always wants to be prepared. Nonetheless, Magic, she changes them up. And with them being changed up, they head out to the Hellfire Vigil. This is what takes us to our two X-Men teams. Rogue's team, Psylocke's team. Though it should be Cyclops, but he's sulking. The two teams aren't necessarily seeing eye to eye, each of them thinking that they need to lead in a different direction, but all having the same goal. And so everybody celebrates. Everybody has a good time. Taking us over to Lulu's Tavern across town, we pick up with Bobby and Kitty. The two of them kind of decided that they're going to be sitting this one out. The truth is, she's just not feeling it. Kitty Pryde hasn't been feeling it ever since she had to become what she became, turning into that assassin again at the end of the Krakoan era. It really did a number on her. Bobby's just here for moral support. This is when Emma Frost gets up on stage. She calls out to everybody and says, before you know your own name, before you see the sky, before you're even taking your first breath, do you know who knows you? Who knows you is your mother. You blink into existence and your heart beats, nestled beneath hers. She goes on to say that we are all children of Krakoa, eons before any of us ever stepped foot on her soil, bound not by territory or citizenship or by resurrection. Our bond with Krakoa, it precedes all knowing, all language, everything. To place your hand on your hearts. Because as long as just one of our hearts beats, Krakoa endures. Krakoa lives. And with her ending her speech and getting off stage, we pick up with Dazzler. Dazzler doing her thing, but Domino's getting some noise from down under. The Sentinel dogs have been sent after Dazzler. They have come to take her down. And Dazzler, she doesn't want this to end like Dazzler's world tour had ended. Super messy, super crazy. But Domino and them, they do have a little bit of backup. They got multiple insurgents incoming, one grunts on the ground. But their numbers simply weren't enough. Right in the middle of this entire vigil, one comes in and takes down Dazzler, using the Sentinel dogs in their armored suits. Dazzler tells everybody not to worry about it. Even though they're literally about to throw her into prison, she tells everybody to remain calm, that this isn't what today is all about, that she doesn't want any more violence from any of the fans. Just remember how good that they had it, and pray that we get that feeling back again. Absolute insanity that damn near every mutant of power is here and nobody did a damn thing, but sure, whatever, let's go with it. Let's go with it. We pick up with Storm. Now, it appears that Storm, she might be pregnant. She's picking up a pregnancy test, but she gives her speech to mutantkind. She remembers when they gathered like this for the first time, surrounded by so much life. They witnessed the birth of miracles. The world could not live with their greatness, and so they broke their nation, forced them to scatter to the winds. But they were already too late. Mutantkind already achieved greatness. No matter how low things might get, they will never think of themselves as lowly again, because they remember. They remember Krakoa. They remember their greatness. And by their land, they remain united in their acts of remembrance. And if you're following the Storm series, then you know what's happening with Eternity. A long-winded explanation, Eternity needed an avatar, and Storm is that avatar. And Eternity tells Storm that I do this not because I care for mortal challenges. I do this because I am Eternity. Even I do not question my own whims. I do this because I refuse to have a host who loses any kind of hope in a future worth fighting for. When the battle against Oblivion is drawing so clear, for a brief moment, Storm is granted the sight of Eternity. For a moment, her vision is unshackled by time. For a moment, she gets to see her daughter of the future. And this is where her daughter grabs a calendar and grabs a clock. Tells her mother, since you're no longer talking, I guess it's time. You asked me to show you this, the date and the time, so that you can remember to tell me this in the future. You said that you've always liked my hair, but in secret, Storm's daughter really wished she got the white hair of her mother, but she did get her papa's hair. She got her papa's fangs, and she also got her papa's powers. Seeing the electricity flow through her hand, the fangs in her mouth, the black hair on her head. She says the boys at school, they never mess with her. Tears coming down Storm's eyes. She now understands the future that she fights for. This is what hops us over to the factory in Alaska. We pick up with Scott and Jean showing up on scene. Now, without hesitation, he rushes over and he kisses her. She's been gone for quite a while, and by golly, he misses her. Asking what she's doing here, of course she's here for the vigil, something he's been trying to forget. In his eyes, it's grotesque. They keep losing each other, losing Krakoa, losing everything. And now they want to go celebrate. They want to go hold up candles while we're suffering. But Jean reminds him that this isn't about what we've lost. It's about what we still have. It's about what we're holding on to. It's about having each other. It's about what we build from here. They have families brought together not by shared blood, but by shared ideals. They have young ones finding a future together. Once wounded, finding solace in one another. The estranged uniting after lost for so long. Their leaders offering up new dreams born from the ashes of the old ones. But this is when the Hellfire Vigil is rudely interrupted. 3K is sending out a message to all phones, to all billboards, calling out to the children of Krakoa, telling them to sing, to dance. But don't forget what was taken from you, because 3K hasn't. Krakoa was a grand experiment, one that showed that them, Krakoa's children, do not need the world, just as they do not need the Pretender X-Men, showing how they use the Sentinel in Alaska, use the weapons of their own genocide against a true X-Men, against 3K. In the year 1000, humans held sway over the world. In the year 2000, they began to realize they would not always be so and lashed out in fear. By the year 3000, there will be no more humans. The year 3000 will be no Earth, just a forgotten name, and a new Krakoa in its place. This is the promise the 3K makes. They are Krakoa's true heirs. Remember what you have lost this day, because the time will come when it is time to take it all back. Happy Hellfire Vigil, 3K out. And that is where this issue will end. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'm gonna be completely honest, it could have been better. There wasn't a whole lot going on here besides a lot of hugging, which is cool and all, I get it. This is a moment of remembrance, a moment of coming together, a moment of love. But the whole comic was pretty much Dazzler singing and people from other comics that are currently ongoing hugging. It felt more like a promotion for the other titles than actually focusing on the Vigil. Also, what the hell was going on with the Phoenix? Like, apparently, mutants left Earth hundreds of years ago. They went into the stars, they died, and their memories were left in these crystals. Jean comes back to Earth, and she says absolutely nothing about this, except for Cyclops' sulking. I'm not gonna lie, I really thought that this was gonna be an absolute banger, and of course they open it up with Kamala Khan. Like, I hate being a hater of Kamala Khan, but anytime there is a big X-Men event, it feels like they have to put her front and center in the beginning. Like, remember guys, Kamala Khan, she's a mutant too. We want to remind you guys, Kamala Khan, guys, she's a mutant. Hey guys, have you heard? Kamala Khan, she's a mutant. Hey you guys way over there reading that comic, have you heard? Kamala Khan, she's a mutant too. By the way, all the other mutants, they fully accept her. We see it right here in the comic. Just in case you forgot, everybody accepts Kamala Khan, guys. You should too. I don't even hate Kamala Khan as a character. I understand she's not a character necessarily written for me. I have an 8-year-old daughter. She loves Kamala Khan, and so I will fully support Kamala Khan. I just don't like when it's kind of shoehorned and forced in. The truth is, Kamala Khan has no real relevance in the X-Men titles outside of this whole, she's a mutant now and we're gonna try to interloop her into everything going on. There are so many mutant characters that have never gotten the time or day. I personally think it's unfair to take this brand new, newly made mutant and make her such a center point of so many comics. And when I say so many comics, I just mean the crossover stuff. Though she does have her little shoe-in a lot of other comics. No, I don't want to rant about Kamala Khan. Like I said, I don't mind her as a character. I don't mind her. I don't want her so much as an X-Men. That's really all it comes down to. More Jean Grey, I really want to understand what the hell happened with her. Like, she saw these ghost versions of mutantkind up in the stars and kind of never mentioned it. So I hope that her series, it does continue on with whatever the hell that was. And one of the biggest revelations of this series, of this title, is going to be Storm having a child. Storm got a glimpse of her child, got to see who the father is. A father with fangs and a father with electricity. We got a lot of glimpses of things that may be coming, things that are going to be coming in the future. So all of that I'm super excited for. As in the HELLFIRE Vigil as a whole, it was a little bit disappointing, but it was a lot of fun to read. It was fun seeing Dazzler. That's another thing, Dazzler. What the hell? You guys are telling me that one comes in to your HELLFIRE Vigil, beats down the doors, puts in handcuffs your star attraction, and not a single soul does anything. Just because Dazzler says, don't worry about it, guys. Nah, bull, BS, dude. No way. You're not gonna convince me you have all these mutants here, and nobody stops one from doing this, with Sentinel freaking dogs on the stage. I'm sorry, no. And I'm honestly surprised that they didn't have 3K use that as a point of being like, hey, join up with us. Because at this point, 3K is getting enough, they're getting enough information, enough usage to be like, hey guys, look at the X-Men. They messed up. You lost Krakoa, you've lost these battles, Dazzler's getting kidnapped off the stage. It's time for mutant supremacy. They're gonna treat us like dogs, whether we have a nation or we are spread to the winds. It's time for them to fight back. 3K is about to see a lot of new recruits. How is the X-Men gonna counter this? Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that has been happening in all the X-Men titles, this is the channel where you want to be at. Make sure you check out all the links in my description, the top of the video, the whole 9 yards. It'll get you caught up on everything currently going on with the X-Men since the fall of Krakoa. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.